Welcome to Holley Terminator X Training Part 24. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at our failsafe protection features that we have available in our Holley Terminator X software. Now, we have some basic failsafe protection features that are going to allow us to have a warning LED light being illuminated. We also have ability to do a timing offset. So Holley provides some of the basic fundamentals for the protection failsafe, but we can go and implement some advanced failsafe protection features using our custom output controls and program things that make sense for conditions like our oil pressure dropping too low. We can implement a rev limiter. Or if our fuel pressure drops too low when we're in boost, we can implement a rev limiter. If we have our knock retard gets too high, or the air fuel gets too lean when we're into positive manifold pressure, we can shut down the engine. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that within the software. Without further wait, let's jump into this video so we can check this out.
Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at implementing failsafe protection features within our Holley Terminator X software. We have some basic failsafe strategies that Holley has given us that are defaulted that we can take advantage of. We can take things a step further and go into some more advanced programming to ensure that we have various conditions accounted for in our failsafe strategies. Things like a lean protection or coolant pressure or things like knock protection can all be implemented in order to make sure we don't damage our engine, whether we're doing our calibrating and tuning or we're in racing conditions. These should always be set up. You should always make sure your failsafe protection features are set up before you even do any kind of actual tuning or even fire up your engine for the very first time. This ensures during any time you run your engine, you're protecting your investment. Your engine might cost $5,000 or it might cost $50,000. It doesn't make sense to not implement these. It only takes a little bit of time to set up everything successfully in order to, again, protect your investment and make sure you can continue racing. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at some of the basic functionality we have in our software that Holley predefines for us. It's very generic, but we're going to go through it, and then we'll move into the more advanced programming functionalities we have in our software for our failsafe protection. So first thing I want to do is jump up at the top. We're going to find we have three icons. We're going to find here that we have our system ICF icon. Let's click on this. We're going to move down here under our system parameters into our area called sensor scaling warnings. Let's click on this. We're going to find here that we have all of our major inputs coming in to our Holley Terminator X that are going to have a scaler that we can scale here. We also have our sensor warnings associated with that particular channel or input that we have coming in. So engine RPM, we have right here oil pressure, coolant temperature, fuel pressure, battery voltage, map pressure, or the map pressure sensor, manifold air temperature, speed, and throttle position. If we look at something like our coolant temp sensor here, we're going to find that we're specifying the coolant temp scale that the software is going to use. So in this case, it's -40 here all the way up to 260 degrees. This is going to be the acceptable range for a coolant temp sensor. We're typically never going to run an engine hotter than 260 degrees, and in very rare cases, you'll get below -40 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is going to, again, the scale that the software is going to be able to utilize in all the programming and all the details. Now, if we take a look here, jumping back under sensors, we do need to set the actual coolant temp sensor type under the sensor type here in our sensor dropdown. So we'll find that we can select any of the options here, do custom. We've talked about this in one of the very earlier videos in the training course. That should all make sense at this point. So this is where, again, we can set the scale for our coolant temperature. And then down below, we have our sensor warnings. This allows us to have some functionality when we're taking a look in our software here. It can give us a heads up warning that something might be going wrong with a particular input here. So for example, coolant temperature, we might find the coolant temp starts to pick up, get a little bit warmer on the chassis dyno if we're doing our tuning or if we're doing some spirited driving or in racing conditions. Coolant temperature will increase, the thermal energy in the engine is going to start to pick up, and we'll find that naturally coolant temperature gets warmer. There's going to be an acceptable level of what coolant temp can get to on your particular engine, and this is where we need to come in here and set these conditions so that we can start to utilize some of the basic failsafe protection and failsafe features here within the software. So first thing let's talk about here is just jumping into our coolant temp. We're going to be talking about an overheating protection / warning strategy that we can implement. So if we're looking at our gauge face here under sensor warnings, we're going to find that we have a sensor min and a sensor max. These are grayed out. We can't touch those. We don't need to worry about it. We're going to find next we have a display min that's going from -40, display max that's going here to 999. Let's change that to the same usable range here of 260. So I'm going to go here and type in 260. You can see the value 260 is lower than the allowed. Click yes to use the minimum value.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.